Everyone, it's Clint Tucker, guitar trainer and coach. It is Fretwork Friday, volume 19, and we are going back to the basics, and we're working on our left hand fretting, and we're also working on right hand finger picking. Grab your guitars, and let's go ahead and let's get in tune. I'm using my Cordova C5 today, and my guitar tuner is gone. I left it at the store that I teach at. But I will go ahead and give you what I've got in tune, and I did it by ear, so I think it's pretty close. Here is 6E, 5A, 4D, 3G, 2B, and 1E. Okay, we are working on making sure that your fretting hand is doing its job right. And one thing that I've noticed is that when I do this little chord progression, it really shows me if I'm doing it well or not. And it just happens to be two chords that really you find a lot in classical music. You also find it in a lot of folk music, and you find it in country. You find it in bluegrass. So the C to G7 chord is what we're going to be using. I'm starting to work on the Mario Giuliani right-hand studies for classical guitar, and he uses nothing but C and G7. So I noticed that this gives me some issues every now and then when my fretting is not right up to par. So I think this would be a great thing that you can use to check and see if your fretting is getting better, and also get you to start working on your right hand finger picking, because you never know. You might drop your pick, and you need to be able to keep going. So you need to practice with these guys as well. So first things first. What we're going to do with the right hand is we're going to use P. The thumb is going to be P. Index is I. Middle is M. And ring finger is A. This is pulgar, indice, median, and annular. But we're going to know it as Pima. Pima. P-I-M-A. What we're going to do is we're going to put our thumb, our P, on the 5 string. Then we're going to put the I on the 3rd string, the M on the 2nd string, and the A on the 1st string. So we have our Pima. And if you notice, see how I look like that right there, where the thumb is in the front and these are right here? If you go to this side, you'll notice that my wrist is out like that right there. This is going to give you great clearance to work on your rest stroke. Or not your rest stroke, but your free stroke. So you can just anchor this thumb right here on 5 and just practice I, M, A. I, M, A. I, M, A. Then go Amy. A, I, A, M, I. A, M, I. A, M, I. A, M, I. So you can practice the I, M, A and the A, M, I with just open strings. That's a great way to kind of get warmed up with your right hand. Now we're going to take our C chord, right, and we're going to make sure that our thumb is at the middle part of the neck behind fingers 1 and 2. And that's what that should sound like. What you're going to do is you're going to keep this really simple. You're going to play the 5 string with the P. You're going to play the 3rd string with I. The middle, the 2nd string with middle. And the 1st string with A. So Pima. And you're just going to do really, really smooth motions. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So now your fretting should be looking like this, where your knuckles are parallel with the fingerboard. And here comes the challenge. You're going to take your middle finger, you're going to put it on the B note, 5 string, 2nd fret. You're going to take your ring or your pinky and put it on the D note, B string, 3rd fret, and you're going to take your first finger and put it on the F note, 1st string, 1st fret. And you're going to do the exact same combination. 5, 3, 2, 1. You definitely hear that like classical vibe. Now I'm going to change. You should hear everything nice and clean. One thing that will help you is if you practice changing and prepping for the next note as you're playing these open strings. So as I play the end of my C, I have an open E string. While that string is ringing out, I should be prepping that B note on the 5 string. Prep. Then be ready with the thumb. You almost can hear if I just do it without picking. By doing that, you're going to be able to land there on time. Now let's add that pinky. That's the next one in line. While I hit that open G, I'm prepping that pinky. So now I need to actually, as I play that B, start getting the pinky ready to come down on that D. I have that open G, then I play the D. While I play this D note, the first finger is now prepping to get right there on the F. So while you're playing your I finger, you're putting your pinky down and then playing your middle finger. While you're playing your middle finger, you're putting your first finger down to play with the A finger. So P-I-M-A, Pima. When you try to do this kind of quickly, it'll let you know if your fretting is off. And your synchronization. So you slow it down. Put that third finger. You get, and look, this middle finger doesn't even, you're not even using it right now if you're not hitting that 4th string. So you could choose to leave it off, but for great practice, it's good to go ahead and make the full chord. That way, if you want to use that later on with the P finger, it's there. So, once again, we're going to go slow. Prep in the middle finger now. Prepping the 3rd finger now. Prep in the middle. Playing as I play. Now this is where you really can practice it. Doing one at a time. Then switching. Okay, so you got your C, you got your G7, and then you're playing, you know, one note at a time because you're finger picking it. So you have time to put everything down as you play. Like all of you business owners, think of this as just-in-time inventory. But it really helps you learn if your fretting is getting off. Because if you're collapsing any of your fingers, you're going to hear this. So you got to get them up. Curl those tips as if you were rock climbing. And make sure that the knuckle is parallel with the fingerboard. Remember what we did last week with our... Look at the knuckle. Look at the fingerboard. Especially right here on the third string. That's a great way to tell if you're doing it right. And play this really slow. And be aware of how much you're pressing down. It only takes 2 pounds worth of pressure to hold that note down at the fret wire. As soon as you go half an inch back, it's like 6 to 7 pounds. So it really makes a big difference on your fretting and how much you actually have to use. Alright, that's all I got for you today. I hope everyone has a blessed weekend. Go ahead, like and subscribe. Go to cwtucker.com and click the booking tab if you want to get a lesson with me. And y'all have a blessed weekend, and we'll see you next week. Bye.